for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready?
Hey, and we're back. Welcome to another episode of And in This Corner, coming out the white corner. My name is Bill, ready to fight.
Coming out the black corner. My name is Barry, and I'm ready to fight.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
Welcome to And in This Corner, where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best shows, best movies, best anything. And this week, what are we talking about, Bill?
Hey, who did it better? We're going to drop another episode of Who Did It Better. Today, we are going to discuss the song Love's Train, original version by Con Funk Shun, 1982, and we're going to compare it to 2022's cover version of Silk Sonic, which is comprised of Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. Who did it better?
We typically like to look at three areas. We're going to look at vocals, production, and impact. We're going to basically, mix and match on who did it better in those categories, and hopefully we'll find an answer on who actually did it better. So without any further ado, let's get into vocals, Bill. Who did it better? Con Funk Shun, Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak.
Man, this is tough. That the lead singer who recorded the song for Con Funk Shun gives me that throwback voice, gives me that voice from the Temptations, the Flash in the from that era of songs, Five Heartbeats, or like the Whispers.
I get a lot of late 70s, early 80s funk bands too. Like the cameo vibes from them.
Yes.
So although it may not be something that registers for like later audiences that are like drowning in the R&B era, I think I agree with you. I'm actually going with Con Funk Shun because of that. I consider the Silk Sonic version more of a pop record.
Yep.
So I don't think anyone is listening to that song for the vocal range of Anderson .Paak or Bruno Mars. That's just me. But when I do hear Con Funk Shun sound, like you said, I hear late 70s, early 80s funk bands, and I get that soulful feeling of, man, it sounds like I'm listening to a cameo record, or it sounds like I'm listening to, like Minnesota Sound.
It's kind of like when the Whispers came in with Rocksteady. It's when the Temptations came out with Treat Her Like a Lady. That older they had to.
I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, but I totally get what you said.
Okay.
I obviously I do, because I chose Con Funk Shun on this one.
Yeah, and I believe this song originated off of their 10th album.
They had a lot of music.
This is from, I believe it stems from their 10th album, Con Funk Shun's 10th album. So there's, again, a lot of nostalgia when you're talking about this song. So as Barry stated, I'm going to, as far as vocals, I am going with Con Funk Shun.
I wasn't sure how you were going to go on that one.
I'm going with Con Funk Shun.
So production, Bill. Production, I'm going Con Funk Shun. Here's why. I'm putting some respect on a friend of the show, Felton Pilot. We were fortunate enough to interview him. And if you listen to the original version, Bill, you speed it up 0.25% maybe, it sounds like the Silk Sonic version. And basically, you just had to do a few minor tweaks there, but the original instrumentation is so powerful and impressive that you barely had to change anything for a 2022 release by Silk Sonic. So I'm giving so much cool points to the original production of 1982, because that sound with a few minor tweaks is what actually carried, the newer record into like this global success that it's become.
And I agree with you. If there are few changes or adjustments in the production of the song, I can't give you the point.
Yeah.
I have to give it to the originators.
Yeah.
Now, when you're talking about a song that's been deconstructed and brought back up to a different era,
Yeah.
a different sound,
You 90s
such as
fired, or you 2000s fired, or you
absolutely
2010s fired.
yeah. If you change it that way, which a lot of people who I'm not going to say a lot, Jodeci lately, Stevie Wonder, Jodeci version, same song, same background as far as production, but you hear the 90s version in Jodeci's version, covers version.
That's just crazy to me that a song made, that's an old school record, you know, like, and I'm saying that with the utmost respect, but for it to play with this normal, the normal instrumental, the original instrumental,
Yeah.
and for it to be so recognized today as a pop record, that's you gotta be beating your chest as a producer.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is Anderson and Bruno are musicians.
Yep.
So I'm sure, I know that they played on the recording of this song. So shout out to them. Shout out to them doing the song. I believe they did it at the Grammys or maybe the American Music Awards. They dressed in their suits and they had two other guys on stage with them. So shout out to Silk Sonic for acknowledging and giving us this cover. Shout out to them.
All right, so you said they're playing at the Grammys. That sound like some impact, right?
It's either the Grammys or they performed it on
it was the Grammys.
an award
I'm being
show.
sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that sounds like impact. So like, with that being said, Bill, who showed the most impact with their record?
Okay, I'm gonna give you some background information. Love's Train was never released as a single by Con Funk Shun.
Yep.
1992, it was never released as a single. And if you go back and do some history, you'll see there was controversy with this song, the original song, writing and changing things. So you can go back and read that for yourselves. 22's version, which is this is the one that for me, I was confused with. Silk Sonic's version charted number 47 on the hot R&B hip hop songs. I would think it would be number 2, number 1 pop, and you heard it. I was confused of why it didn't chart more.
You said it's number 2 on hip hop, but that's the only place it charted?
Number 47 hot R&B hip hop songs. It charted it did something else on
that's crazy to me.
It did something else, but
whenever you hear
give me
a song,
some, let me look it up.
Yeah, whenever you hear a song that it's in heavy rotation, that song was on the radio every time I turned it on. So honestly, the Grammys could have been something that actually, I guess, immortalized the song. Maybe maybe people went back and revisited it after that. But this song, I just remember it being on every airwave when it was released.
I got it.
Go ahead.
It charted number 11 on the US bubbling under Hot 100 singles.
That's still not. That's crazy.
Yeah, digital sales songs and US radio songs. It charted number 50.
Silk Sonic's also a group that they break every conventional method of actually making it big. Like they found a back way to actually release pop records. So I'm not mad at that. But
I would think that this song by Silk Sonic would chart higher than it did.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's confusing.
It's confusing, but it's also Bruno Mars, Silk Sonic, to where they become big by sidestepping the industry. So maybe they don't necessarily have the pop charts to prove how big the song was. But if we're looking at impact, I'm going to ignore the rankings and say Silk Sonic. It's no question. They revitalized the funk genre, in my opinion. I think they proved to artists you could do whatever music you want to do, and it don't need to be timely. It could be throwback, and if it's good music is good music. It's gonna play. Fans gonna rock with you. They go rock with it. Yeah. This song had no business as it was. And Bruno Mars has occasionally done that, like taking old style records and then made them big. But I think this is their best example of that. That record is so old school, wasn't supposed to be a hit. It became a massive hit. And I know they performed at the Grammys. Didn't they win a Grammy for this? I'm not really sure.
No.
Oh,
Not
they
for this
didn't.
song.
All
No.
right, yeah.
Nope.
So
That was
still,
it. No, nothing.
it's like you said, you mentioned how Confunction's version it may be penalized because it wasn't a single. It just it was something you had to dig through a crate to find. You know, if you're looking for samples. And honestly, I think that this version, for me to know a lot about music, this version actually brought my attention to, you know, the old school version. So
yeah. And the thing about this song, we could have used Drew Hill as well, because Drew Hill covered this song on their second album. So we actually could have used their version to go against Silk Sonic or to go against Confunction. So we do know that those two covers were good covers of the song. So Confunction, Felton, friend of the show, shout out to Confunction, shout out to Desiree, his PR, one of the greatest PR publicists out there, friend of the family. I'm going to say family of the show, not friend of the show anymore. Family to the show. Shout out to Desiree. Shout out to
Thank
Felton.
you. We appreciate you, Desiree.
Yes. And if you haven't, check out our interview with Confunction's Felton Pilot.
Please do.
It's out there. Y'all check it out.
All right. But the big question is, we talked about vocals, production, and impact. But the question everybody wants the answer to, Bill, who actually did it better?
For me, when I look at everything in totality, I got to go with Confunction. I don't see a separation that Silk Sonic did to make me believe or to take that their version surpassed Confunction's.
So my answer is going to be a loaded answer. So I'm actually going with Silk Sonic's version, because I just think it was tasked with a lot of different tasks. It once again, to do that style of music today, it's unheard of, because it's like the industry's telling you to track away from that. Like, basically, that sound is that funkadelic sound is so old school that I think the industry's scared of that sound, because it sounds just like the old school bands that they got rid of a long time ago. So I think this song kind of proved to artists, do whatever style of music you like, right? More importantly, Felton's attached to both records. So I do think he gets credit for the Silk Sonic version. So once again, I do think Silk Sonic's version did it better, but that's also kudos to Felton being linked to both versions.
Question: Who?
Yeah.
Let me go back. I think I'm confused. You gave vocals to who?
I gave vocals to Confunction.
Who'd you give production to?
Production, Confunction. Impact, I gave that to Silk Sonic. Who did it better? I'm saying I'm giving it to Silk Sonic, namely for this reason. At the time of its release, we mentioned the controversy around the record. I think this record for Confunction was swept under a rug. So they were kind of robbed of an opportunity to even do it better, because at the time of its release, people, I don't know if it necessarily got the publicity that it desired. With what they accomplished today, because more eyeballs and ears are on the material, I think it's no question. Silk Sonic, they just had an easier path towards success with their record. So yes, I do believe you could lose vocals and you could lose production, win impact, and still win who did it better. So I'm going with Silk Sonic.
Okay. All right, there we go. We disagree on that one.
And keep in mind, Felton's taking home a trophy in both examples. I think when I give this award to Silk Sonic, Felton has a trophy himself because he's linked to both records.
Yeah. He's a writer, and also Cooper. Is it Michael Cooper? The other writer on the song as well. It's Michael Cooper. So it's Michael.
And the weird
Cooper
part is, Bill, the way you just explained to me those breakdown numbers and pop charts, I do think the Confunction record has gotten more radio play because of the Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak's version. I'm not so sure that we'll start to see that one kind of increase in popularity over time. So who knows? You ask me this question 5 years from now, it may be a totally different answer.
Yeah. Well, I have my choice of Con Funk Shun. Barry has his choice of Silk Sonic's version. So that's who we decided who did it better. But that's us.
We disagree, Bill, and we typically disagree. Like, what can we do to find out if there's a tiebreaker out there? If the tiebreaker was the audience, how can we even poll them to figure that out?
Audience, y'all know what to do. Go to that comment section. We call it My 2 cents and leave your 2 cents. Who do you think did it better? Was it Con Funk Shun or was it Silk Sonic? So in the comment section, I need you to put Silk Sonic or Con Funk Shun. Who did it better?
And then, Bill, what's another way they could show support?
Hey, like this video, leave your 2 cents. That's the comments. Subscribe to our channel. Not only to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Twitter, subscribe to our Instagram, subscribe to our TikTok, subscribe to it all. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that whenever we upload any new videos or we release any videos, you're instantly notified.
There we go. Hey, that's all that we got, folks. This concludes our episode of Who Did It Better. Thank you for tuning in to And in This Corner.
Peace.